So hello everybody, welcome back. So today I'm going to do a different kind of video. So this one is about items that you might get because you think that they are useful, or you think that they are cool and they will be useful and all these things, but actually you might be surprised. So it's one of those things where some people might be doing reviews on particular products or brands. Me, I'm the different person, so I'm going to tell you about thought process for buying things that are useful versus identifying what is not useful and things like that. And when things that do not look useful are actually useful. So, if you like this series, please let me know in the comment section, because otherwise, I might not continue this series. I do not know what is popular or what you want, because, if you don't tell me in the comment section, then I probably will not know. And if you want me to continue any of the other series, let me know. So anyway, so having said that, grab your coffee and hopefully you will be taking notes about all these things. And if you wanted to share a coffee with me or get one of my books, links for that down below. So now I'm going to talk to you about something very important, and it is changing light bulbs, right? So I have a video about changing light bulbs. I have mentioned before that when you are changing these things, so it's important that you understand several things about changing a freaking light bulb. Quite frankly, it's annoying. And especially to people like me that seem to have like a magnet for weird things, alien things. Yeah. So, several things. First of all, if you want to understand if a light bulb is damaged or not, then I don't know if you can see it, but in here, let's see if I can compare this to the other bottom. In there, you see that kind of thing that looks like a spider web? That looks like a fan that is open? Yeah, that little thread that is black. Yeah, so if one of those things is disconnected, then the light bulb is damaged. Now, there are several types of light bulbs, depending upon the color, the size, the watts, and all kinds of things, the lumens and other things. I explain a lot of these topics in the books, but the most important part that you need to understand is the parts, because they will be kind of universal. So here, whatever holds this thing, this is called a calmar. Now, the calmar can be plastic, ceramic, and sometimes other materials like mixed. And it's important that three things happen. Number one, that part over there, this thing, is not supposed to be rusted or oxidated or rusted or, have a little bit of like a, I don't know, like a mold thing or things like that. If that happens, you will likely need to change the calmar, and not only that, but you can also, do maintenance of this thing. So there are two types of calmars: the ones that are connected towards the lamp and the ceiling and whatever it is, which is cable, and this one. So today we are going to be talking about this thing, because this is an emergency item and it costs $1. So a lot of people will buy this because I just told you, when you have a lot of light bulbs, three things will happen. They have to match the size in this thing. And this part, this screw part, is going to be an issue in terms of how they fit into the calmar. And because of fluctuations in electricity, they will also have fluctuations in terms of heat. And because of that, this will expand or contract, and then this thing will fit or not fit, which will make this thing either blow up like boom. By the way, this one will scare you when that thing goes boom. Or they will just go almost like if it was unscrewed, and then you will have rusted things inside and all of that. So you might need to change calmars. You know, I will suggest getting like 6 for a regular house, spare calmars. The spare calmars with the cable thing and whatever, you know, I will suggest getting it with the proper material for your house and for you. That being said, you need to talk to an electrician and ask whether they recommend for you and your particular situation. They will recommend ceramic or they will recommend plastic. And then you get like 6. And if you don't know, then get 6 that are plastic and 6 that are, ceramic. Like I said, they cost about $1, so right now it's easy to get. But there is a point in which these things will not be made anymore. Or let's say that if you are in the middle of the night and then this thing breaks, you're not going to change that in the middle of the night. You need actually, a lot of light and a lot of, not being dizzy when you're going to, use a ladder so that you can change the freaking thing. So you also might need to understand that this thing is attached to the glass, but the glass might actually slip out of this part. And then, this thing is screwed in here, but you can't get it out. Because see, when you're doing this thing with the light bulb, you are using the light bulb per se. But what happens if this thing gets separated? So this thing will be stuck in there, and then you will need to use the tool that I show you in the video, and then it will be, a thing. So, nobody tells you that you are supposed to get, enough light bulbs, and make sure that they fit, and make sure that they are, properly, tested, as in they're working and stuff like that. And it's very important that you get enough materials like electrical tape and cables and stuff like that to fix this problem, because light bulbs will be one of the things that will be stolen the most. If there was like a list of 10 items that will be the most stolen ones, light bulbs will be in the first 5. And they will be actually, in several videos I have mentioned this before. Do people, steal your generator? No. Before the people steal your generator, they will likely steal your light bulbs, So rather than, being worried about generators or whatever it is that you have in your house, worry about this one. Because no light bulbs means no light in the middle of the night. And then if something happens to the light bulb, like it blows up or whatever, then this thing is going to be stuck in the calmar. So this is why people will buy this one. And it's important that you understand how this one works or how to use it properly. Because here's the deal. This one, see the material? Now, but this one, because you're going to be plugging it in and plugging it out, if you plug it out, let's say that you are taking this thing, from the wall, but then you do it too much or strong or whatever, you may accidentally, touch this thing when you're pulling it out. So if you're touching this metal with metal, and you're already touching the plug-in thing, you might get electrocuted. So you need to handle this one carefully. This one is supposed to be for an emergency. So for example, let's say that you are in the kitchen and the light bulb blows up, and now you don't have light. You have electricity, but you do not have light in your kitchen, and you need to see where is the glass, and you need to probably change this thing, but you can't change it like if you are just going to take a chair and you change it, you can't, because it's not going to happen like that. Like I show you in the video, it's a 2-minute video in which I show you what happens to this freaking thing. And so, And so you're like, I'm not going to do anything like that, and you don't even know if the thing is on or off and stuff. So then you go kind of like, oh, but I'm going to cook something 10 minutes. I can do this in the morning. So I just go and, use this thing, grab this, plug it in like that, and then plug it in like that. Some people go the opposite, meaning they plugged in, this thing, and then they try to screw the thing. No, you don't. Because it's a freaking thing that is at its own. If you plug in this thing before, without the light bulb, it's already passing electricity. And if you do not know how to do this one, this is metal. And so if you're touching this and by accident, electrocute it again because this is metal. So no, the right way to do it is you plug it in like this. You make sure it works. You make sure that it doesn't fall or anything. And then you grab it here and then you plug it in. Now, if this stays on, obviously it doesn't have a switch to say yes or no, is it on, yes or no, whatever. So it will just be on immediately. So this means that this is hot. So, if you wait, I will not use this for more than half an hour, because then this is going to be too hot, and then this can be a problem. Because try to imagine that whatever happened in your, your ceiling with the lights, with the lamp and everything, try to imagine that happening in your socket. And then you're worse because you are in the socket, and this time you are actually, attached to it. So when handling electrical things, always use something plastic. However, when you're touching this thing, it's going to be hot. So, you plug it in and it's going to be, hot. And two things will happen. When you are unplugging this thing, the light will go off, which will make your sight go kind of like, when somebody, uses a flashlight directly to your eye, and then you're like blindsided for a couple of seconds or something. Yeah, you will be like that. You will be like, yeah, you're going to be closing your eyes like, what happened, for a couple of seconds. So you might need to see this one, because especially if you are around people, if people are, are already used to the light, and then you take this out and then it is dark entirely, they might fall, they might bump into something. So you need to tell them, hey, I'm taking the lights off, and then you take it out. Like I said, be extremely careful. Grab it here. Do not grab the light bulb, because this is going to be too hot, and again, you have a very high chance of accidentally touching the metal. Because like you can see here, the metal is not entirely in the inside. So, then you take it out. And again, get used to the idea that for about a couple of seconds you will have, you will be blindsided, and then that's it. So this is a good item for those kind of situations. This is not for children, like not even teens. If you're going to be using this with a teen, I will highly, say no. Really, honest to God, I will say adults and people that have a pulse and they are not scared of electricity or anything like that. Because there is people that go kind of like, I have a shaky pulse, or I have a sensitive hand, so it's too hot, and they might drop it, or they might, accidentally touch it because it is hot. Because every time that something is hot, you go kind of like that, or kind of like this, so it's a thing. And because this is going to be hot, when you plug it in, you need to be, aware that you cannot have anything surrounding this thing. So if you have something here, obviously it's going to be very, very, very hot, and you might even cause, an incident. So you need to, clear the area around the socket and then put it in. Now, is this very useful? Like I said, in situations where the light bulb in your house just blew up and you need light into that area, and you are not going to change the calmar and look for tools, and you are not going to do anything like that because it's night and you don't need it or whatever, then you can use this one. I would suggest that you will rather use a flashlight, but if you're going to do something like cooking, you know, using the flashlight. So like I said, if you're going to use a flashlight for half an hour or 40 minutes, you know, you might run out of the battery. And why are you going to do that if you have electricity? You know, so this one is a good alternative. But again, not near children. And in a place in which if somebody bumps into this thing, you know, you might get burned. So it needs to be in a place that, you know, the socket is up, or you know, no one is going to bump into it, you know. Also, this is good because let's say that you have a generator and you need to see the generator, you know, the data in the generator or whatever. You can just plug in this next to the generator, so you will know where the generator is and how much it has and all of these things because of this. So this is helpful for that. Now, in terms of how much will I give it, you know, in terms of 1 to 10, you know, for recommendations, as in getting it to your supplies and things like that, you know, because I always tell you that, you know, the things that you really want to get, you know, because you will definitely use it for like 100 things, and then it's a thing that is universal, meaning a teen can use it, your family can use it, and there will be no, you know, no safety issues. Because of the safety issues, and because this one is hot, and because this one, you know, is a thing, you know, because you can get burned, you know, not a lot of people know how to handle a lot of things. You will think that people know how to handle a lot of things, but they don't. I will recommend that you get it if only adults are going to get it, you know, and as in use it, and then, you know, be aware of the fact that you cannot use this for more than 40 minutes at a time. I will give it like a 7 out of 10 in terms of that, you know, because, you know, like I told you, this is not for children. You have to be aware of heat. By the way, if you have, you know, if you don't have a heater working, and then you need light, and at the same time you need something hot, you know, this might be able to help you out, you know, in winter. But you gotta be very careful, like I said, you know, why you're using it or how, and again, because this one is depending upon the materials and things. So I will give it a 7 out of 10. However, you know, if you are the type of person that knows what you're doing, and you know electricity, and you are probably a guy that doesn't care, you know, all of that, then, you know, I will very likely give it, you know, an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10. But I'm a woman and I have a child at home, and then, you know, I am afraid of these things a little bit, because I told you, if this thing, you know, accidentally have this thing, you know, if this thing breaks, then, you know, you need to take it out like that, and then you will need to do the changing light bulb thing with this thing, which for me is kind of annoying. You will need the tools and things like that. So changing a light bulb is not as easy as it is in the movies, like you go like this, because throughout hard times it doesn't work like that. Hard times will melt this thing, hard times will affect the hardware, and hard times will affect the quality of this thing, and hard times will also not allow you to have the light bulb properly sealed in here, and hard times will mess up with the voltage, so this thing might blow up. And in hard times, you know, there will be a lot of things that nobody tells you, and they are kind of like a daily thing that can happen anytime. You know, there was a spike in a block that is 3 blocks away from my house, and the electricity was so bad that all of the light bulbs, all of them in those houses in that particular block, all of them blew up. So if you have 60 light bulbs, 60 light bulbs were blown. So you can imagine the scare, and this was at 8 p.m. That's why, you know, but the electricity was kind of normal after that. So, you know, if you have a spare light bulb and then you do not want to be messing around with the calmers and things, this will work handy, because, you know, there were people that started buying these things precisely for situations like that. You know, because you need something to plug in so that you do not need to use a flashlight, because you do not know if electricity is going to, you know, be an issue or later. And most of the people will connect these ones directly towards the unit supply thing, the UPS thing, or they will put it directly towards generators and stuff. So, you know, and it's just for emergencies. This is not meant for a substitution for a lamp or anything like that. And I have mentioned that light bulbs are going to be so bad that people will actually, put like a cage around light bulbs, and then they will put locks so that nobody will steal the light bulb. Because stealing the light bulbs is going to be your major, etty, as in your major thread every day. Because if there is no light, you will not know if it is because the light bulb is damaged or because somebody, because the light bulb will also, somebody might just go and, if you have a light outside, they will go kind of like this. And then your light will not, you will not know. You will see that the light bulb is there and you will think, oh, the light is, damaged. It's not damaged, it was disconnected. But you don't know. And if it was disconnected, then you just set yourself into a trap because somebody disconnected the thing and you do not know. So this is one of your first lines of defense for everything. And it's important that you have ways to handle these properly, And anyway, I'm sorry this one took too long, but again, so do I want to buy this? I don't know. Like I said, it's a good item, but if it has to be, if you have to get only 10 things for a survival thing, I will probably not put it in the first 10 things. I will probably put it like number 20 or around that, because if you have problems with the light bulbs, you will have, also other issues. However, if it is, a regular situation in which you are just cooking and stuff like that, then this might come in handy. So, again, it's up to you. And just make sure that you call your electrician or your favorite technician and take notes about all the things that are related to the type of light bulbs, the watts, the lumens, and especially the calmers. Because the calmers are going to be your major issue. And in fact, this one is going to be one of those things that why most people will call electricians and will call technicians to their houses. It's one of the top 5 things that people will call somebody for. Like I call any guy that I know, my neighbor or whatever, I will call them and say, hey, again, the calmer thing just broke. Because not everybody will know how to connect cables. And, if somebody connects the cables the way that they are not meant to be, done, you may actually, create an overheat, and it's going to be an issue. So, so you do want to talk about this with your entire family, and they need to know what to do in case that these things break, because of a spike or whatever, because this is going to be scary. I mean, the sound, and then no light, and then you figuring things out and all these things. So, it's just one of those things. So, do I recommend it? Like I said, you probably will have other things that are going to be, more in priority, but this one is going to be probably around 20, 25, in the list. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for staying tuned, and see you again soon. And if you want me to continue this series, let me know.